All that?
No,
Um,
almost. You're going with that down here.
so you're gonna look into that.
I am. Little progress.
They put like a repeater. Is that what they?
I don't know, but the, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna call this meeting of the South Thompson Select Board to order at 4:05. On August 8th, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The adjustments to the agenda. We want to add a letter from
From the state of Maine for certified ratio declaration denial.
the Department of Revenue or Services or something like that.
Yes, any revenue services.
Okay. Okay. Let's deal with Jimmy first, because I told him we're gonna deal with it at 4. He's gonna be on the phone if we have any questions. But basically, we got only one proposal from J.K. Caller. We had 2 people take out a package, but only one returned. We did put an ad in the paper. And it's for a 4-year contract. First year was 2,60302 from Calic. And then it escalates second year to 217, then 229 and 243. I think I mentioned earlier, Jim did say that if costs don't rise the way they have been, that he would be willing to renegotiate those numbers as we move forward. He will continue to provide a backhoe year round out there at no cost to us. I mean, it's cost to operate it.
Right.
But he'll let it sit there, so there's no mobilization to truck it in and out, which is a big thing for the stump dump use. We assumed for purposes of the RFP to get apples to apples, 800 yards of sand, 300 tons of salt, that of course can vary up or down. But that's what we've made the assumption on. And provided his experience, his list of equipment, which is impressive. And I did compare it with the lane mile from St. George. It is about $800 more, but in St. George, they don't plow fire ponds and some of the other facilities that we plow here. So, and the draft contract, sample contract was in the proposal. It's pretty much the same thing that it has been. I think we just updated dates and made look at the insurance. And we incorporated the amendment that was the original contract was amended, and so that amendment is. The original previous contract was amended about halfway through, so we incorporated that amendment into the contract itself this time. We have a simple. Did we do it? We do have an out in case the state decides to drop 131, because remember, I don't even know if you know this, but we're responsible to plow 73 in Buttermilk and Dublin because of because we have to do the winter maintenance on those roads, but we didn't have to on 131. But the state has contracted with us to do 131 and contracted with St. George to do their section. And they pay us for that. So this does have a we identified that cost separately, and if for some reason the state pulls out of that, we're not obligated to continue to pay him for that, and that's why I thought it was important to identify what that cost was, so ahead of time. So, that's it, I guess. It's a significant increase from previous years. And significant from what we budgeted.
What did we?
We budgeted, I think, 159, 929. That's probably the most important thing I had to tell you. But, I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not at all. We budgeted 159.
I think that's what it was, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 159 and change, almost 160 actually,
Yeah. So about
47.
40, yeah, 46 and a half.
There goes our surplus increase that I saw in the draft audit report.
Good thing you have it.
Huh?
It's a good thing you
Well,
have it.
in some ways you're right. So. Questions? Jimmy is available by phone.
I think the only question is, do we need or want a performance bond from him?
I don't think we need it. It's just gonna drive the cost up, and
That's.
I put that in there in case we got somebody who
Right,
had no experience, you know, and
Yep.
all of a sudden dropped us because they couldn't do it or something.
Right,
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's just gonna, I mean, obviously, he's just gonna pass the cost of that on,
right.
so.
Okay, well,
We haven't had one before, I mean, we may have originally, but we haven't had one in the last,
no, we have.
quite a while, so.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to approve a 4-year contract with Calic, starting at $206,302.38, and to authorize, well, all of our signature on it, so authorize the board to execute the contract.
I will second that.
Further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. So we'll have to fill in the blanks and stuff in and take the draft off it and get all the the proper attachments. And I know we can just come in and sign it when it's done, right?
Yep.
Okay, so who's up? Do you wanna deal with that letter first?
I told him to meet 4:15, 4:20, so we have like a couple minutes
Okay.
before we should be going.
Let's deal with the letter then.
So, what's the date on this?
Can you read it, Jeff? 'Cause I haven't had a
Yeah,
chance to read it.
that's what I was getting ready to do. So the date of the letter is July 26th,
Wow.
Right, I saw it too.
and it's from the State of Maine Revenue Service, which is MRS. MRS has received your completed 2024 certified ratio declaration form. As you know, Maine law requires that assessors multiply the amount of the homestead exemption by the appropriate ratio of current just value to determine the local amount of the exemption. The ratio indicated as your certified ratio deviates more than 10% from the developed parcel ratio last determined by MRS. The instructions on the form describe a legal requirement that the municipality must submit proof of MRS to properly authorize the use of a ratio that varies more than 10% from the developed parcel ratio. And I think ours was 69. In order to use the ratio that you indicated, you must submit proof that clearly justifies the ratio you plan to use is more accurate than the ratio last determined. If you do not provide information, or if the information you have provided does not validate a higher ratio, in accordance with Maine law, you are confined to either accept and use the developed parcel ratio last determined by MRS, or certify and use a ratio that is within 10% of the developed parcel ratio. Inasmuch as the ratio you declared exceeds the maximum allowed under Maine law, MRS cannot sanction its use. MRS will reimburse your municipality for only the taxes lost for the homestead exemption and business equipment tax exemption based on a 69% ratio. MRS cannot reimburse a municipality for taxes lost for any portion of homestead or Betty exemptions that you grant that result from using the inappropriate ratio. So
it sounds like to me that they're not considering the factoring he's gonna do.
that's what it sounds like to me, and they didn't even consider the factoring that he already did last year.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
That's true,
because
yeah.
the original one didn't include the 15%
Right.
last year or the 20%
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
So,
My feeling is we should just sick Kevin off.
that's my opinion.
I mean, I think he understands it better than we do and. No,
And I guess the question, and it's really strange because they provided that updated sheet that had new sales and accounted for the 15%, I thought. Or did it? Or did it?
no, I don't think it did.
Maybe not.
I don't remember, but
Yeah.
I didn't dig that stuff out, but today, but. I mean, I think, Hannah's already forwarded that to Kevin.
Yep.
And I think we should just ask Hannah to try to get on the phone to him tomorrow or something and see if we can figure out what's going on and
What else we need to provide to,
can he do it, or is it something we need to do here, or, whatever we need to do.
I mean, because we did vote to authorize him to increase by 20%.
Well, actually, I think.
Or
we let it
whatever
even.
amount.
Yeah, I think we let
Get
it
us through.
even, right.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, well, it's a timely discussion given our next agenda items.
Yeah. At our next meeting, it's on the agenda to set the mill rate.
Well, and we're interviewing revale people today.
Correct, right.
Hopefully. Who do we have first, Hannah?
That would be Josh Berry.
And that's RCS?
Yes, that's ours, yes.
Oh, you wrote the time on it,
I did,
yeah.
mostly for myself, but.
So I guess we gotta take a.
Is he gonna join by Zoom or is that?
Yes, he
Okay.
is, and also, the other one is two.
Well, why don't we stand in recess for a couple of minutes till he joins us? So do you wanna stop recording just for a couple of minutes and?
Yeah,
And